everything could be going wrong, and he's sitting there. He's like, "Guys, I got the next play," and like he's got a big old smile on his face, and you're like, "This guy's full of shit."
It is officially time for training camp to get underway as the Panthers rookies report to training camp. A few former players of Dave Canales exposes his character for who he is. The Panthers make roster moves due to some injuries up and down the roster. We have to talk about the depth at certain positions. We got all that and more in this edition of Panthers News today, and we're starting right now. Yo, what up, though? It's Aaron Duncan with the Necessary Bluntness Sports Talk, bringing you some Panther Banter news today. And we have a couple topics to talk about. But please, before we get into that, give this video a thumbs up. It really helps me out in the algorithm. And if you want to see more Panthers content, hit the subscribe button with the bell icon. I will be on top of all training camp info. I'm on top of it. This is when I'm in my zone. So if you don't want to miss a thing, subscribe. Notifications on. But let's get into the content. The Carolina Panthers rookies have reported ahead of training camp this year, and the vets will follow on July 23rd. So this includes the Panthers draft picks that they made, including Xavier Legette, the first round pick, and all the undrafted free agents as well. The team posted a video of the arrivals to their social media, but stuff just really don't hit the same. I mean, there's no luggage, no pillows, no camp snacks, no candy, no flat screens, no game consoles. I mean, what happened to the game I love, man? It's just different seeing the players report to camp just to turn around and go right back home at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? With the team moving to camp from Wofford College at Spartanburg, players just don't have to pack all that stuff that they used to anymore since they aren't really going away to camp. And even though a few teams in the league actually have camp remotely now, most of them do them near the stadium, it just felt like a time and tradition for the Panthers players to be able to be on the college campus to build that connection and that bond. Things will be different for fans too as well, especially a fan like me from South Carolina. Even though they moved Fan Fest from North Carolina to Clemson, being at Memorial Stadium there when it used to be at Bank of America in Charlotte, I'm still salty that they took the one thing away from South Carolina that we had that made it feel like a real connection, you know? And I just don't know. I thought it was supposed to be two states, one team, but it's feeling like one state, one team, and it's gone from the Carolina Panthers to the North Carolina Panthers. Man, if you're a fan from South Carolina, let me know how you feel down below in the comments about these new camp arrivals and seeing these guys drive themselves to camp and not get dropped off or not having a car full of all the crap that they typically bring, you know what I'm saying? Because for some people, it was a tradition. Like me, I've been going to camp for a little minute now in Spartanburg, being a South Carolina native. But now, stuff just seems weird, man. Let me know how you feel down below in the comments, though. As the Panthers players begin to file into camp, the team can start making official transactions. So one of the first by every team is announcing players who will start the year in camp on the PUP list or the NFI list. Now, PUP stands for physically unable to perform. So the PUP list is for players who are currently injured, whether it was from recovering from an injury that they suffered from the previous year, surgery, or maybe some offseason work where they got injured, or et cetera, et cetera. Jonathan Brooks, the second-round pick, was placed on the non-football injury list since his injury happened before he was drafted. He's still recovering from offseason surgery on the ACL injury that he suffered in November as a member of the Texas Longhorns. Free agent edge rusher DJ Wanham is going to be on the PUP list because of the quad injury on the procedure that he had this offseason. Amari Barno had ACL surgery that he's recovering from as well. The edge room will be very, very thin as the start of camp, so I wouldn't be shocked to see them sign a vet edge or a player like that just to come in for or a camp body. That way you just have a deeper rotation and protect the legs of the older player that you have in the group, like Jatavion Clowney, who's longer in the tooth. Yosh Nugent, who's a swing tackle, was going to have an undisclosed injury, and Jalen Coker, the undrafted free agent receiver, has an undisclosed injury as well. And according to Mike Kay of the Charlotte Observer, he missed the last few practices of minicamp as well, so nothing surprising. The good thing about the PUP is that players can be promoted off of it at any point, unlike like the injury reserve list. So one name that we didn't see there is Austin Corbett. There have been no reports on him being injured during the offseason program, but this time last year, he was still rehabbing from that knee injury in the ACL to the same leg that he hurt last year. So he'll be counted on as a starter for the offense at center as he switches from that guard position. So it's good to have the starting O-line intact before camp because we know that they are going to be very, very key and very, very paramount for the development of our offense as we look to lean on the running game, but also protect our quarterback, Bryce Young. According to initial reports around the draft, we heard that Jonathan Brooks would be cleared sometime in July, so maybe he just got the green light. So it seems like they're going to be bringing him along slow. With the depth that they have with Chuba Hubbard expected to be the starter anyway, Miles Sanders, and Rashad Penny that they brought in as well, they have plenty of bodies, so there's no really reason to rush Jonathan Brooks. This seems like more like a long-term play, especially with a guy like Chuba Hubbard in a contract year. You want to bring him along slow, maybe we can give him a little bit more of the lion's share down the stretch, but I expect him to really be that guy next year, and not saying I want to set the bar low for him as a rookie, but ACL injuries, it tends to be take a 1 full year after you've had that surgery to really get back to your old self. With this guy still being fairly young, just turning 21 this summer, the upside is there for Jonathan Brooks. So no need to jeopardize anything. Keep him healthy. Not that it matters, but if you remember our former rookie running back for the Carolina Panthers, Jonathan Stewart, also was hurt coming into his rookie training camp, and he ended up working out long-term for us as well. So I'm very, very bullish on Jonathan Brooks overall. What was also just reported is that 5th-round pick cornerback Shao Smith-Wade is also added to the PUP list, and also wide receiver Cam Sims, who is a receiver that they picked up out of the UFL this season. So a couple more names added to that PUP list. So you guys let me know down below in the comments how you feel about these injuries and these guys being on the PUP list. I know that edge room is looking nasty right now with those guys, with Amari Barno and DJ Wanham not being able to participate to start. Let me know how you feel. Do you think they should sign an edge to start off right now, or how do you feel they should move going forward with these injuries? As Dave Canales is set to go through his first training camp as a head coach in the NFL, we've started to learn more and more about who he is as a person. And I made an extended video on the Panther Banter podcast, piecing together some of the sound bites of Dave's plan and just how I think it kind of contrasts from what we had formerly with Frank Wright. But a former Seattle Seahawk and Carolina Panther, Russell Okung, put out an extensive tweet describing a coach that used to work for Pete Carroll. This is how the tweet read. When I played with the Seahawks, there was a coach whose optimism was painful. Always writing notes, knew Pete Carroll's culture like the back of his hand, even set up practice dummies perfectly on the field. I rarely saw him have a bad day. Turns out, relentless positivity is a superpower. My teammates ridicule him as a quote-unquote company man for meticulously straightening practice dummies. This coach knew every detail mattered to Pete Carroll. While others kicked dummies in jest, he aligned them perfectly. He saw the connection between small actions and overall culture. An older vet defended him, quote-unquote, saying, he's not a company man. He just understands how things work. The lesson here, it's not about blind loyalty. It's about understanding the bigger picture. Those small things would create a future for him. Funny, ... He's now the head coach of an NFL team. Now, he didn't name names, but the only possibility that could fit that description in my mind when I'm reading this is Robert Saleh, who coaches the Jets, Dan Quinn, who coaches the Commanders, or Dave Canales. The, quote, always writing notes portion fits to what we've heard from Canales in his opening presser about that big notebook he had with some of his plans that he had whenever he decided to become a head coach. The, quote, relentless positivity also aligns with what we've seen and heard as well. Just the other day, Baker Mayfield, the quarterback of the Bucs, who was coached by Canales last year in Tampa, recently went on Busting with the Boys podcast and had some comments about Dave Canales. I'll play the clip.
He's very relatable, smart guy. He took our receivers coach from Tampa with him to be the OC, Brad Idzik. Really, really good football mind. And I just think like those two guys together, like around Bryce, is going to be good for him. But Dave's got the definition of an optimist bully. Like, it could be the worst day ever. Everything could be going wrong. And he's sitting there, he's like, guys, I got the next play. And like, he's got a big old smile on his face. And you're like, this guy's full of shit. Yeah. But no, that's literally who he is, day in and day out. And like, it's honestly refreshing, especially in that industry. It's like coaches are always negative, like picking apart everything, but he's complete opposite.
And in my reaction video to the blueprint, I talked about how his positivity may end up rubbing people the wrong way, just because, I don't know, man, these days, many people are just so negative on certain days that being an optimist bully seems like the perfect way to characterize his overwhelming positivity. After one of the darkest times in franchise history last season, I mean, a positive guy leading this team is probably just what the doctor ordered, to be honest. I mean, and we don't know if David's going to be a good coach or a bad coach yet either, but he seems to be wired the right way as a guy that just breathes that positivity and energy. I like Dave's personality and approach to Pete Carroll. I even called him Baby Pete, but Pete Carroll actually has some early success that makes it a lot easier to sell a certain message. And we'll see how positive things can be and how that message hits when things may not go as well for the Panthers, who seem to be a lot longer way away from turning things around. But you just never know. But I'm really, really excited, and it's cool to hear the players come out here and say these messages about Dave. I don't know what the timing was and why it came out, but just knowing that that's who this guy really is. He's been that way for so long. Russell Okung hasn't played for the Seahawks in 5-6 years, and he remembers that time with Dave Canales. Dave didn't ask him to post something like this, and this just came out of the woodworks, and it's just a testament to his character. So to really hear how this guy is, the positivity, like I said, hearing it from him, but also hearing from Baker, calling him an optimist bully, I think this can do wonders for not only Bryce Young, but the team as a whole. I just hope that the success comes with it and he gets the time that he needs to try to build this thing the right way with him and Dan Morgan. You guys let me know down below in the comments how you feel about what they said about Canales and the positivity. Do you think it's going to get stale a little bit pretty quick because everybody don't love that? You heard the players in the Seahawks joking with them and messing with them, moving dummies around. So how you feel? Do you think the players are going to mesh well with that messaging from Dave Canales? Let me know how you feel down below in the comments, and how excited are you, I guess, for Dave Canales. I want to get you guys' thoughts about him as well. But without further ado, my name is Aaron Duncan here with the Necessary Bluntness Sports Talk. I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you hit the subscribe button down below to stay up to date on the latest training camp news as we get ready to crank things up. You guys know I'm on top of everything. So please hit that subscribe button down below. I appreciate you watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.